So you're thinking about moving to Smithville, Missouri. Well, it's your lucky day. In this video, I'm gonna take you all around Smithville, Missouri, and we're actually gonna do it from Elon Musk's point of view. That's right, up in space. We're gonna take a look at the map. I'm gonna show you where to go, how to get there, how to get and where to go, and we're gonna get started right now. Hey, if this is your first time tuning into the channel and you want to know everything there is to know about living in Kansas City and places like Smithville, Missouri, then click subscribe, hit that little bell for notifications so you can be the first to know of the current market here in the KC metro area. My name is Zac Morton. My business partner Max Jones, the Mojo team, and I have been helping people move to Kansas City for over 20 years. We absolutely love it, but you don't have to take my word for it. See what our clients have to say with over 600 5-star Google reviews from people just like you. So whether you just hit the tarmac today or you're moving 3 months from now, please pick up the phone. You can get us a call, text, email, or even schedule a Zoom. All that is in the description below, so we can help you find the perfect place to call home right here in the KC metro area. All right, so today we are talking about Smithville, Missouri. So let's zoom in here on this map and we'll show you around the neighborhood. All right, we've got the map of Kansas City here. So just to start this video out, I just want to make sure everybody knows that there is a Kansas City, Kansas and a Kansas City, Missouri. We are talking about Smithville in this video, but just to show you how everything's laid out, there's a little river that runs through here called the Missouri River. It actually runs all the way across here. That divides the Northland. If you're in town, driving around, talking to people, scouting out different areas, anything above this river is considered the Northland, or north of the river, and anything south of this river is considered south. That's just how everybody talks here. The river divides, on the north section, it divides Kansas from Missouri, but when you get south of the river, that state line just runs completely south. So over here is Kansas, and then over here is Missouri. And of course, Missouri is all of this right here. South, north, and south of the river. So this is all Mo. This is all Kansas. Kansas City's right in the center of it. A majority of the businesses and stuff is on the Missouri side. But just so you know, that is how the city is laid out. So today we are talking about Smithville, Missouri. And let me clean this up, which is right here. I've got some red dots right there. That is Smithville. So this is about from the center of Smithville to downtown Kansas City. This jot right down 169 highway. They're actually doing some construction, right, rebuilding this bridge and doing some highway stuff. So it may be a little bit of a mess for the next year or two. There are some other highways that'll get you up there too. But the main one is 169 highway that runs straight into Smithville. And you can get right to the middle of Smithville in about 20 to 25 minutes. So let's clean this up and then zoom in a little bit. Okay, so one of the things that I really like about Smithville, just to point out, we've touched on this in our vlog too. If you want to check out our vlog tour on Smithville, we're walking down Main Street. We're looking at different houses and different properties. We're going around the lake. Definitely check that out. But one of the things we point out in there is this 169 highway coming out of downtown goes right up through Smithville, but it's not a heavily trafficked highway. There's not a lot of like over-the-road trucks, because really the only reason to go up this highway is if you live in Smithville or you're going to use the lake. So all the main traffic that's got over-the-road truckers and people going places and all that is going to be your I-29 and your 35 over here that runs through Liberty. So these are going to be the over the road people passing through town, going north and south across the country. But really, this highway that runs right into Smithville, lightly trafficked, just people that live there. So that's what I like about that. So immediately you're going to kind of have that small town feel. Just about I think there's a stoplight right before 92 highway. So this is all 65 mile an hour. As soon as you get into Smithville city limits, it'll drop down to 55 and then 45. There'll be a couple stoplights through here as you kind of pass through town. And then shortly after that, it picks back up to 55 miles an hour. And then you're kind of back into the country again. Whoa, drawing lines all over. We'll point out that the airport is right here. So access to our brand new Kansas City airport, which everybody's excited about, real easy to get to. You got a couple different directions, but real easy to get to from Smithville. You're probably talking 10-15 minutes to the highway. And then we'll point out, we do in most of our videos, that to navigate around Kansas City, you've got this 435 loop that comes real close to Smithville. This will take you all the way down south and all the way around Kansas City. And it's just a great way to circumvent city traffic and get anywhere in the city fairly quickly. It will get busy down here, especially in the south during rush hour, but for the most part, Kansas City is a really easy city to get around to. And once you get to Smithville, it's even easier. The population in Smithville, you can kind of see right now just by looking at this, it's a little further from the city. So as you can just expect with any of these little towns or suburbs that are further away from the city, they've got a little less population. Our population for Smithville proper, which is outlined right here, is coming in right at 10,400 people. So fairly small when you consider like Overland Park, Kansas, one of our vlogs we did down here, another big suburb on the Kansas side, has 220,000 people. And we're just 10.4 right here in Smithville. So pretty small, and that's kind of what I like about it. This town has that kind of beachy feel, a little bit of country feel. There's lots of subdivisions and neighborhoods in here that are nice, up to date, new construction. Again, check out our vlogs. We look at some of those houses. But you can also find property out here that is, a house on some small acreage, maybe 4 acres, up to 10 acres. So there's lots of opportunities for houses around this lake on small acreage where you can get out of Smithville but still be in that school district. Basically, the school district for Smithville looks something like this. So encompasses, so if this is 15 square miles, we've got 75 square miles of the school district. So a lot of people, that kind of brings me to the point of the school district. A lot of people will choose Smithville because cost of living's a little better, which is what happens when you get a little further away from the city or Kansas City proper. But the school district is still A-rated. So great schools, a little smaller. It's R2 instead of R3, which are some of the bigger suburbs to the south. But all in all, Smithville is a very highly rated school. I can't say anything but good things about that. The student base for Smithville school districts is 2,643. It's an R2 school district, so a little less. So the size is a little smaller when you're an R2 school district than an R3 or an R4. But you're looking at 3 elementary schools, 1 middle school, and 1 high school, Smithville High School. And what I can say about the school district is, since it's not as crowded, the sports, although they do have sports and they're competitive at a fairly high level, it is easy to get on those teams even if you haven't made, let's say, basketball your focus your whole life, to actually step on and play and get on the team. Where some of these other schools like Liberty, Park Hill, Staley, it's a little more competitive. They don't quite have as much room for just any student to hop on, and that's just, you have to compete and try out, and a lot of people they cut over half the kids in some of these other school districts. This one, you're going to be able to get on, play any sport that you want to. So that's one of the things I like about that. All right, living in Smithville. So the downtown area is right here. We've got Main Street, and this is a nice little, you probably got 5 or 6 blocks of shopping and restaurants. There is probably one of the town favorites is Humphreys. I think it's right on here on the corner, and that is a restaurant. So Humphrey Smith came from New York, for a little history lesson here, in 1822, I believe, and settled there and started a mill called Smith's Mill. And nobody could pronounce that. I can barely get it out of my mouth. So it's just easier to say Smithville. It rolls right off the tongue, and that's kind of where the name came from. So now there's a little pub, bar, restaurant down there called Humphreys. It's probably the town favorite. Has, gosh, I think they have almost as many reviews as the Mojo Real Estate team. Over 600 highly rated reviews. So if you're coming to town, you want to get a bite to eat in a little downtown Main Street, check it out. They also have a stage here. They'll have concerts. They'll have antique car events. So any excuse this town can have to throw a parade or get everybody downtown. It really pulls a crowd, and everybody feels like community. I have friends with shops down on Main Street, and they absolutely love it. They've been there forever, so it's just that really nice small town vibe and a really quaint little area. Not a lot of action, but there's always something to do. You always find people out. And Smithville is one of those places where you can just walk up to somebody and start talking, and everybody's gonna be super respectful, say thank you, yes please, open doors for you. So that's kind of what you're gonna see up there. And I always like to tell people it's kind of like that, we've got this huge lake, right? It's kind of like the beach town, but also we're a little bit country, so it's like flip-flops and cowboy boots, and everybody is super welcoming and nice. So talking about flip-flops and the lake life, this is one of the things I personally like about Smithville the most, is all of the activities and things you can do up there. It's just, I go up there a lot. I don't live in Smithville, but close enough to it. I'm 15-20 minutes away, so I find myself in the summertime up there quite a bit. And some of my favorite things to do are two of the main neighborhoods that you can live in. It's kind of if you're into the lake life, you want the boats, you want to be close to the marina, there is a couple boat ramps. I think it's in this cove and this cove. I could flip this over and get a couple of these coves. You've got marinas and boat ramps and docks and all that. And this is in our vlog tour, we go and tour this neighborhood and this neighborhood, and these are a couple neighborhoods that almost, everybody's got a boat, everybody spends time at the lake, you can walk. These are all county parks right here, which are really well taken care of. There is 4 disc golf courses around the lake in all this county park land. There is over 700 campsites. You can camp on Camp Branch. They've got Crow's Creek. You can camp all over. We've got a little beach you can get to right here. Take the kids to. You can show up with the boat from the water, or you can drive in from here. And there's actually 2 beaches. Here's the dam. The lake is great for fishing. If you live in one of these 2 neighborhoods, you've also got this 2 18-hole golf courses right here, Paradise Pointe. Again, on our vlog, we tour that, show you guys that, but that is just so nice to have golf course right on the lake. You're out here playing. I don't know which one of these holes. You know what? Let's do this. Let me see how accurate we are by flipping this on. Ah, look, there's the marina. So I was close. So we got the marina here, and then you can see golf going out on this point. There is a couple par 3s where you're chipping over water, and it's just a beautiful spot to get some golf in. Like I said, there's 2 courses. One, I believe, is the baked grass, and one is zoysia, which is a real thick, almost carpet-like. It stays brown most of the time, but then in the hottest part of the summer, it turns green, and it's beautiful, and that's kind of my style. I'm always teeing the ball up anyway. Don't play me for money, right? I gotta cheat a little bit to make it work. And then right here's the dam, and then let me clean this map up a little bit. There's walking trails that go all around this lake, so I love to touch on that. So just even more activities. Let's go back to this map. There is over 37 miles of walking trails, and you're gonna see them just kind of meander right around the edge. A lot of them go through the campgrounds, but all the way around the edge, and it'll just keep going. There is up here closer to the bridge up north. There is other trailheads that are more kind of designed for mountain biking. So you've got some single track mountain bike trails up here. I think there's 11, 12. They keep adding to it, so it continues to grow. But along with the mountain bike trails, you still have this paved trail that goes around the lake on the shore, which is kind of nice. And then there's a couple offshoots of paved that'll take you uphill, and then you can drop into the woods and do the downhill single track mountain bike stuff. So if you're into that, it's a great spot. There's a parking lot up here to park, primarily if you're just showing up for mountain biking. And every time I go past that, it's always full of cars all year round. So mountain biking is great. After that, there's a little town here called Paradise. In Paradise is one of those gas stations that's been there forever, ice cream stores. You can get a cheeseburger, all your camping, the boating, fishing supplies. So just kind of one of those cool small town shops that you've got to check out every time I'm up there. Got to take my kids. We've got to go get. They've got this chocolate cherry ice cream that I don't know. You can't go wrong there. So check that out. You can get a cheeseburger in Paradise, and there's also a big yellow chair you can get your picture taken. So if you're gonna want to have a cheeseburger in Paradise, check it out. That's really the name of the town. What else can I tell you about fun things to do around here? We got the golf course. There's, I said, 4 disc golf courses. There's a couple on each side. We've got all the camping. There's boat ramps over here by camping. There's picnic areas that you can reserve, shelter houses that'll hold, 30, 40 people. There's several of those that you can reserve if you want to have a family reunion or something like that. So lots of shelter houses, just all the things that come with the state park. They keep it well mowed, well manicured. The roads are nice. Just a great place to hang out in the summer. And this isn't a lake that people can live on. It was originally designed to keep the Little Platte River, which, oh, there it is, right there, that kind of ran through Smithville, used to flood all the time, and it became an issue. So they built this in 1979. The county started acquiring land and bought land from farmers and all this kind of stuff. And eventually, they built this dam, all with the purpose for flood control for Smithville. So this lake will fluctuate a little bit on the depth. They can release water at whatever rate they need to keep the river flowing steady, but not allow the town to flood. So that's why this was built, but it's turned into an amazing recreation lake. You got 2 bridges on this lake, right here and right here. And this is all your wakeboarding, high-speed boats, skiing, wake surfing. This are between these 2 bridges, and then beyond that you can still take your boat up in there. You just can't ski. You can still get your jet ski up in there. Since they just flooded farmland, there's lots of trees that are still sticking up, so this becomes actually great fishing territory for crappie, bass. There's a lot of bass tournaments run out of here if you're into fishing, you want to compete. There's always somebody on the lake. We've got Sailboat Cove, which is, let's see, right here, I believe. So if you're into sailing, there's a marina for sailboats. And this lake, let me point out, does run, as you can see, north to south. In the summertime, our prevailing winds are out of the south. And if you're into any kind of wind sports, this is the lake I learned to kiteboard on. So kiteboarding, windsurfing, sailing, wing surfing, all those wind sports, you get a nice clean wind because the wind really has a lot of time to clean up as it's traveling from the south across this lake. And then again in the wintertime, throw on your wetsuit. If you got thick skin, you get the north wind, and again it's got clean wind. You're down at this end of the lake. So just something to point out if you are a wind enthusiast like me. All right, as you can see from this point of view, here's these 2 bridges again. This one's going to be over in here. It's a big lake. Most of the activity is going to be between these 2 bridges, but if you have a depth finder and you want to go exploring, you can go way up into these fingers and go exploring and mushroom hunting in the wintertime. All of this conservation land, well, not where the campgrounds are, but we'll get up in here around the lake. There's a lot of conservation land. You can deer hunt, duck hunt, waterfowl, squirrel hunt, rabbit hunt, bow hunt. So you just get on the conservation website, check it out, see where those areas are. They're all posted as you're driving around. Put your deer stand out there, put your name tag on it with your phone number, and you've got your spot. So that's just another great thing about having all this right there. Plus you got all the fishing off the bank, all the fishing off the boat. This lake's stocked with some of the fun fish to catch, or tasty fish, or you got walleye, crappie. You've also got your bass, huge catfish. What else is in there? Probably bluegill and maybe some carp. I don't know. I've never seen one. But all the good, fun, tasty fish you're going to find in Smithville, and it's full of them. It's fun fish there. All right, so I'm good at having fun. If you can't tell, that's what I enjoy. Let's see, what else might you want to know about? We talked about the schools. All right, well, let's zoom in a little bit on downtown just to look at some of the other restaurants and things you can do there and shops. There is, right from here, there's not going to be your organic grocers, like your Whole Foods necessarily. We've got Constantino's Price Chopper right here. They're probably going to have some organic options, most definitely, but it's a small town, so we're not going to have a lot of grocery stores. We're not going to have your big box stores like Home Depot, Target, Walmart, Lowe's, all those big anchor stores. There's just, the population density is not there. There's a library, which is kind of cool, and some fun local restaurants, which are always my favorite. A lot of the fun ones. We talked about Humphreys. There's some Mexican food. There's a pizza shop. It's actually called the Pizza Shop, which is a local Kansas City cracker crust style pizza. There's a few of those around town. One of my top 3 favorite pizzas. So something probably worth checking out if you're into pizza. That's usually what I do when I go to a new town, is I just gotta find like a local pizza place, and that's how I decide if I like that town or not, judging by their pizza. So a little insight to Zac's favorite food. We do have Casey's General Store. There's going to be a couple bait shops right in here where you can get tackle and boat stuff, and a marina over here that sells boats and all that stuff. School's located right there. You can see the high school south of Maine. 92 highway is kind of the main highway that's going to cut back across east to west. It'll take you to the airport of Platte City and then to Kearney in the other direction. But this is just a 2-lane. Most of the time you're just going to be going south. If you're going to Home Depot, or you need any of your big box stores, or you want to hit one of the outdoor malls or something like that, you're just going to go down 169 here, get on 152, and right in this general direction, there's going to be pretty much Home Depot, Target, Walmart. There's a little outdoor mall, Zona Rosa, all kinds of restaurants right down Berry Road here, and all that kind of activity. And then if you want to go downtown to hit more of a bigger event or a show, you're still 20-25 minutes from that. So all right, well, let's hop back into and just take a look at some of the main neighborhoods that you might be looking at if you do want to have the boat in your driveway and be using the lake a lot, if that's kind of your pull to this area. We've got this neighborhood right here we walked through on the vlog, so definitely check that out. This is kind of the entry level for the lake life, close to everything in the golf course. I think we got into that. There was a house for sale in there for the 3s. Then you move over here to Rawlins Landing. There was houses in the 4s, and then we back out over in this direction. There's a new subdivision going in here, and you can get 5, 6, 7, kind of the nicer end. So it's not uncommon for people to start here, move to here, or start here and move to here, just depending on what you're wanting. And this is going to give you that golf course right here, lake life access right here, and then a quick shot when you're going to work, 169, and you're straight down. So that's where we'll see a lot of the lake people that live there hang out. But there's also lots of other places. There's some neighborhoods right down here off 92 highway that you can get into, and all over here around the lake you're going to find those large acreage or small acreage, like 3, 4, 5 acres with a house. You can find stuff like that. You can find up to 20 acres sometimes. So if that's something you're into, it gets a little country out here and the roads are quiet, a lot of distance between houses. In fact, let's pull that up real quick. You can see there's a house on several acres. They're pretty spread out. And then we go back over to, we get into town, into some of these subdivisions, like the one I was just talking about, right? And we're packed into a subdivision. Then over here at Greyhawks, they're still adding on to that. We were back on this phase, looking at houses in the vlog, and then Rawlins Landing. They got them packed in. That's what you want. You want neighbors, and kids can have somebody to play with. I will point out too that right here, draw in on that. These are patio homes or duplexes. So if you're older, or you're just tired of steps, you don't want maintenance, you just want to be able to just live and do your thing and don't have to worry about keeping up on the house, there is options for that you can buy into that. And then you're in your golf cart, you can zip right to the golf course, go to the park. You can see these are those spots that you can rent, the pavilions or the shelter houses where you can go out to the lake. And then this is that walking trail that goes all the way around the lake, all concrete, laid out nice and flat, and just beautiful. It takes you all around the park. You can walk on this for days, bring your Frisbee with you, walk your dog, and you're out there playing disc golf and having a good old time, enjoying some good outdoor activities. So that's kind of how it's laid out. We got our little downtown there. Let's see what this view looks like. Oh, nothing special, as you'd expect. We got some old houses around the little downtown area. It was an old floodplain, and a lot of those old little houses had been through some hard times. So I don't know if I would focus right there. I'm just not a bit. I love the charm of old homes, but I just don't like the maintenance. So anybody that's going to go buy a home that's over 100 years old, I always recommend that you guys watch a couple videos on maintenance or knob and tube wiring and all kinds of stuff that goes with older homes. It can get really expensive. Plaster, it's not like you just tear down a wall and put sheetrock up. Every little thing nowadays, because we've got totally different construction methods, just costs a lot to take care of. So that is how Smithville's laid up. Now, I told you if you stuck around to the end, I was going to share with you some of the big news for Smithville. And that is, it's not Smithville per se, but just south of Smithville here in Kansas City, Facebook bought a big chunk of land right here. I don't know if I got this exactly right, but they are building a 8 million square foot campus. I've got cranes. I was in there. I'll pop up a image of my drive in there. They kicked me out because it must be top secret or something, but there's 8 million square feet. The actual building itself is supposed to be right at 1 million square feet. Super high-tech facility, Facebook, Meta, and they're coming right into the Northland of Kansas City, just south of Smithville. So undoubtedly, this has already brought a ton of construction jobs to the area, and then it'll bring even more tech jobs. And one of the reasons Facebook has chosen to pick Kansas City as its hub, clean this up, is because 2 reasons. If you were going to build a spider web that you wanted to cover the whole country, what better place to start than right in the center? And look at that. That's exactly where we are. In fact, it almost kind of looks like a spider web. But Kansas City has more fiber laid than any other city. So Google came out here, probably forward thinking, great idea. If we're going to connect the whole East Coast, West Coast, North, South Coast, and the whole nation, why not start in the middle? So we've got more fiber out here than anybody, so great spot for tech companies. I think they're calling it now the Silicon Prairie, and I think we're just going to see more of that. And we got, Facebook coming in right here, so that's our, stay tuned. I think it opens, or they should be in operation like 2024, so it's going to take a while to build something like that, but super exciting for Kansas City, the Northland, and lots of opportunities. So that's it, man. If you made it this far, thanks for watching. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please give it a like. It helps other people find it. Feel free to subscribe and hit the bell again. Hey, and relax. You've got a friend in the business. Just give us a call and let us know how we can help. Thanks for watching.